everybody that I've heard that has said any sort of feedback for the podcast said more vape sounds on the podcast. We want it. We want it now. And they'd be like, what do we want? Vape sounds on the podcast. When do we want it? Every 2 weeks. But we live, man.
All right, we live for real?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Okay. So we'll just do this. You know, we'll start here. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Scarfinger. This is Scarcasm. Chase is in the building. Geese Gone Raw is the squad. In the website. Go to geesegoneraw.com, which I haven't really actually did any really updates in quite some time because no one really goes there, but I probably should.
Yeah.
You can find us at all of the places. You know, do a review. iTunes, the Stitcher is still big with us. Like Stitcher is still like the place. According to the stats, when I look at the stats, Stitcher is the place to listen to us, which is still kind of weird because like I was on Stitcher like early, and I stopped listening to Stitcher when I started getting really into other podcast apps, but a lot of people still really use Stitcher. So shout out to all of the Stitcher people. You know what? Ron Block, my man Ron Block. Shout out to my man Ron Block. He said he's about that Stitcher life. So, but yeah.
And that shared on Facebook Live too.
Yes. He shared on Facebook. He shares on Facebook. Like I said, before like, you know, back in like the early days of like Ron Block, and when we became friends on Facebook, like he would tag us in stuff, and at first he was just tagging me, and it would be like wherever he was. So like I'm at the Capitol like today, or like I'm at some place in fucking Washington DC area or whatever. Like it's always like I'm in Maryland somewhere. It's like, yeah, dude, he's with Michael Corvin and at the Capitol. Like, okay, I guess I'm at the Capitol today. It was just kind of weird, but it was also kind of cool, because like, you know, with us, like it's never been, we've never been the kind of show that gets like a ton of feedback. So like just a little bit of that thing where you, in those moments, you kind of find out where people are listening to you.
But sometimes you don't want feedback. You don't want people to be like, "Oh man, Scarfinger's such a Mary Sue." You know, you don't want that.
Oh God, Star Wars is coming out this week. But you know what? That actually wrecked the show for a while. I will say this: when around the time when I first got on Libsyn, the shows, there was different shows, and the shows were separate, and it was pretty obvious that my ex-wife didn't really want to do the show the way I wanted to do the show, so we broke them in half. Like she ran the show the way she wanted to, and that was casual conversation, and then I ran my part, which was Scarcasm, and then we had a show with just us together. You know, we would invite guests or do whatever, and then we had the show together, Pink Side, Blue Side, which that concept, the Pink Side, Blue Side concept, is still something that I'm still willing to do. But we don't have a pink side right now, unless you want to be pink. I mean, your skin is kind of pinkish. I think we could do it.
Maybe. I mean, I don't want to be.
I'm just messing with you.
I don't want to be sexist, but speaking of pink side, we have been talking maybe having a ladies' night because Amber and her friend kind of have been talking like they might want to do something. And I was like, hey, we could do some sort of offshoot or whatnot, but I wouldn't want it to be, you know.
No, I'm definitely cool with that. Like we used to do monthly, she used to do monthly ladies' night shows, and I wasn't a part of it at all, except for helping her get set up. So like, if you want to do a ladies' night, I think that would be, it's beneficial to the brand. You know what I mean? At this point, we're a brand.
Yeah.
And like, we have to like approach this as a brand, and like all of my notions about walking away, just kind of went out of the, kind of flew out of the window. Like if to maintain the GGR brand and like all of the things that fall under that, whether it's the painting stuff and whether it's the podcast and all of that, like like the community outreach that we do that no one kind of does anymore, with the with the discords and all of that kind of stuff, like all of that encompasses who we are and what the brand is. So like it's one of those things to where as we I think at this point we should embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of me feeling like how I feel sometimes, where I just kind of get in my feelings and just kind of like low key start fucking things up, like you know what I mean, like there's other things that we should do. Like, okay, so like how about this? Now we did August.
Yeah.
How about an August April? It doesn't really roll the same way, but how about an August April?
August April would be pretty cool. But February is actually the 6-month gap.
Yeah, but February, and also February is the anniversary. February 17th is the anniversary of the show.
So you wouldn't want the anniversary to get swallowed up in August, February, or whatever.
Exactly. Well, actually, I don't think that would be that big of a deal. Just whatever is the show the week of the 17th, like whoever is the guest should be like of note.
Well, if we're doing every 2 weeks, it's not as much guest August because it's
if for August we have to do every week.
Okay,
we have to. We don't have a choice. If it's August, like we have to do August in August. We have to do all of the weeks in August. Yeah,
this past August, we even did 2 shows in a week to make sure we got all the guests. It's kind of crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. And like, but like, it's just one of those things, like we're kind of having like a show meeting on the air, which I think is kind of dope. Like, because it brings everybody into like what we're thinking. And like, I had a thought, like I was thinking about the homie Jay Bird the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And, it made me think that like at one point, we were, watching movies that people suggested to us and all of that kind of stuff. And then that just kind of stopped. But like, we could do that again.
We would have to find another avenue because I did hear that Rabbit is no more. So we'd have to find something else.
No, but we weren't really doing the Rabbit thing that much. But like, if at this time when when Jay Bird was suggesting all kind of weird movies and shit, it was just the only criteria was it had to be available on like Netflix or a streaming service where we could get a hold of it, where everybody could get a hold of it. Mostly we really went for the Netflix stuff because like everybody has Netflix. Like who doesn't have Netflix at this point? So like it was just, that's kind of how we ran it, even though like he did start like doing kind of weird shit. It's like finding stuff that's on Prime, and like no one watches Prime except for like I do now. Like I'm watching a show on Prime right now, which is interesting so far. But we'll get to that later. And so like, I think we should get back to like more stuff like that. And with the 2-week gap now, like we have more time to prepare and like do stuff like if we want to play, if we want to set up a game, that both of us have to play and talk about, we have the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
And like, with the 2-week gap and all of that kind of stuff. And so like, I think we should start thinking in that direction. Because like basically the show is basically like a weeks in review / what you've been playing. But I think we could do a little bit more than that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we should do a little bit more than that because I mean, there's people rocking with the show for most of its existence, which in February, it'll be 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, the show has been around for 10 years, and like in a lot of the early episodes are kind of lost to the internet. I got to find out where all of those early episodes are. Like they're probably on like an old computer or something like that. I had to find it and boot some shit up. But like, you know, like a lot of that stuff was on a legacy feed that they had some server issues and everything got lost.
Well, speaking of like, you know, more things to do, like we should do another meetup and maybe like actually make an edited video for our meetup or whatnot, you know, like a vlog. And, because I do have, you know,
yeah, you told me about that, but you should tell them about that.
Yeah, this is a drum head. I believe this is a floor tom, but Adrian did not want to use, who is my drummer that I've drummed with since I was in high school, and he doesn't use factory drum heads, so he was just like, you can do with them whatever you want to. So I was like, man, actually the texture on these might be actually pretty cool for painting. So I was like, let's do that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think we should. I think we should do something like that. You know, after the holidays and stuff are done and all that other stuff. Maybe. Well, actually, no, because like the anniversary is like the worst time to try to meet up and try to do a live show with both of us in the same place, because it's right after Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And like, you know, like I don't do a whole lot on Valentine's Day,
but I'm sure not hanging out with you.
Right. Yeah. Like, like you have like Valentine's obligations, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, how's your week been? I got something to talk about. Something happened last week that was pretty dope, and I want to talk about it. But I'll let you go first. How's your 2 weeks been? I'll say 2 weeks.
Yeah, my 2 weeks has been pretty cool, man. Especially because I remember you guys were like, everything all right. But yeah, for a couple of little bit, it was not all right. We had someone in the house that was supposed to be here for like a couple of days, but then they ended up being like, well, I gotta stay longer because of this and that, and then it ended up being like a week, and then, you know, it was like they were trying to squat in our house, and we were like, you gotta be out of here, and it was just causing a whole bunch of crap. Oh, thank you.
You got some juice? I just got some new stuff.
This is like the 2019 version of Bring Daddy a Beer. My son brought me this.
Bring Daddy some juice, damn it. I want some fucking juice. Can everybody bring me some fucking juice? Like, I know. I got two bottles here. I got 2 bottles sitting right beside me. And I just ordered some new stuff. Like I should do that. I said I was gonna try to record some like separate stuff. I should do that with like the vape stuff, because
I thought about it. You know, the old saying of, you know, Daddy went out for a smoke, you know, type thing. That don't work with vaping. You're like, I know that's a lie. All the vape stores are closed in this area.
Daddy's batteries died. He went to go get batteries.
But even then, they recharge, Daddy.
No, they go out after a while. You're like, sometimes you gotta go to the stove. Like,
yeah, I definitely had to do that. Like, I think I told you my last batteries were just like, I was charging it like basically a half a day. And then finally I got some new batteries. I was like, holy crap. Usually lasts in like 3 days, but now it's down to about a day. But when I first bought them, it was like insane how long they were lasting.
It's like one of those things to where it's like, there was this comedian that did this joke about like, dating hood girls, because hood girls are easily impressed by everything. And it was just like, he would go pick up a girl, and then like they get in his car to go to wherever they're going to go. And she goes like, oh, wow, your car starts up on the first try. Like that type of thing. My vape starts up on the first try. Fuck yeah, man. You know, one of my sets of batteries, one of them is going out. Because I have 3 pairs, and one of them is going out faster than the other one, but I don't know which one is which. So like, I just don't use those, I guess. And I ordered on the vape stuff as a Christmas present from my girlfriend. I ordered a mesh RTA. So I'm going to start building, but in mesh.
In a tank, right?
Yes, yeah. The T is the tank part.
Yeah.
So I'm not dripping, but I am going to be building my own coils, changing out cotton and all of that other stuff. That's going to start happening on Christmas. I bought a Doom.
That sounds pretty,
Sounds metal because it is metal.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a Doom metal RTA. But yeah, I'm excited because like I run through coils like, because I chain vape, so I run through coils fast.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how everything would be different with an RTA. And I'm excited about it. Like, I'm genuinely excited about it. And like, already started plotting on like buying like little containers to keep like my other coils. I mean, my other like mesh strips and like keeping some cotton on me just in case I need to change it out when I'm at work, and like making sure that I got my little coil master kit with me. Like all of that other stuff. I started plotting already. So like, it's going to be fucking dope. I'm excited.
Nice.
I'm like super excited. I'm super excited for Christmas. I'm way more excited about this RTA than I was last year with that Switch. You know what I mean? Like I'm way more excited about the RTA than the Nintendo Switch. That tells you a lot about me and the relationship with my Nintendo Switch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We don't really vibe that much. I have games, and like when I want to play something, it's almost like the Switch is like an afterthought. Like these days I'd rather play something on my phone than on my Switch. And I know that's crazy to fucking say. Like it's super crazy to fucking say. But and then like one of the games that I've been playing, I can play on the Switch. I just don't have it on the Switch. Which could be a situation where I should be able to buy it for the Switch so I can play at work.
Which game is that?
I've been playing a lot of 2K. A ton of 2K. Now, how I came about 2K was 100% because of Sam. He bought a 2K bundle and didn't want the 2K, so I bought the 2K from him. So I bought the code from him. So I've been playing a lot of 2K because I'm terrible at the game and I want to be better at this. I've already spent money. I've already spent a little bit more money. But I'm tired of being terrible at this point. So yeah, so that's the thing that I've been playing really the most. I haven't really played very much of anything else. I have played a little bit of Spellcaster University, which I really dig that game. I know it's not a game for everybody, but I really dig it. Also, with the Spellcaster University is basically you're building a magic school, and it's a card-based system. But that makes me think of Rashani and Nikki. Anybody who listens to the Dream Team knows who Nikki is. They do a Harry Potter podcast called Hermione and Lavender Were Black. And I really dig that. And whenever I listen to their show, it makes me want to play more Spellcaster because I'm building my own my own Hogwarts type school.
As you know, I've never read or watched any Harry Potter movie ever.
I love Harry Potter. Like what happened to me is I watched the first 2 movies and then I went back to the books. I didn't really get the whole thing. And back like when it first came out and it was first like this semi big deal, one summer I worked at Busch Gardens, and one of my coworkers who I worked that year, I worked in the stores. I worked in like the retail stores in is it France? I think I was working at the retail stores in France. The Busch Gardens is a theme park, and the different areas are based off of European locations, with the exception of New France, which is Canada, which is weird because it's the only place that's not in Europe. But
isn't Busch Gardens owned were at least like named after like Budweiser, like Anheuser-Busch?
Yes, absolutely. And there's a big ass place that makes Anheuser-Busch right next door. You used to be able to take tours and you could like sample a little bit of like the like Anheuser-Busch like plant, because there's a like literally right there. And when you work there and you're like backstage, what they call it, like behind the places where normal people can't go, it always smells like bread out there because of the yeast. It always smells like bread out there. Whenever you're backstage, it's like forever. It smells like bread. So like, yeah, but there was a lady in one of the other stores in France, because like when you work the stores in France, you kind of rotated to different stores depending on, depending on what you did. Like I worked the hat store that sold a whole bunch of weird hats. I still have my bat hat, and I love my bat hat. I worked the hat store, and then mostly I worked the place. It was sold Peace Frogs merchandise. And I know like a lot of people don't know what Peace Frogs is, but I'm pretty sure like most people, especially if you're on the East Coast or the mid East Coast, like where we are, you've seen those stupid fucking frog stickers with the frogs with the peace sign and shit. Yeah. But yeah, I sold Peace Frogs merchandise in the store. That was the place where I worked at the most. But I would rotate, and I would work the other stores, like if I was filling in for somebody's lunch or something like that, and then go back to the Peace Frogs place. But yeah, one of my coworkers was reading the book, and she was trying to tell me like how great it was. And she was reading the first book, I think, at the time. And like she was trying to tell me how great it was. And I was just like, that sounds stupid. And then like the movies came out, and it was such a big deal. So like I watched the first movie, and I was like, huh, that was cool, kind of kiddie. And then like the second movie, like over the course of Harry Potter, like they keep raising the stakes, and it is constantly getting more and more and more grim. Yeah. As they go. And like I saw the second movie, and I was just like, all right, I think I'm going to go back to the books. And so I did the audiobooks. A lot of it, I was doing the audiobooks and reading at the same time. I
think we lost Scar.
I lost you for a second.
I lost you too. Like you paused for a second.
Okay, yeah, it like my internet was just like nope for a second. But I was saying, I don't know where I stopped at, but I was talking about I did the audiobooks, and the guy who reads the audiobooks, Jim Dale, is a phenomenal actor. Like a absolutely phenomenal voice actor, because like when he does the voices, I don't see you moving. This is weird.
You lost me again.
I don't know what's happening, because I can see me. I don't see. Sometimes I don't see you moving, but I see you kind of come in every once in a while.
But can you hear me?
Somewhat. Both of us are still moving just fine.
You paused for a second. Well, you're back now.
On the actual thing, your screen keeps pausing, but on the I have the YouTube up at the same time, and both of us are still moving over there.
Okay. Cool.
But Jim Dale reads these, and he's a phenomenal voice actor, because like when he is all of the different characters, you know which character he is, because he can do his voice in so many different ways, that it actually you know exactly who's talking. Which is weird when only one person is doing all of the voice acting. And it's really cool. And then he also did, another one of her books that she did, is called, Casual Vacancy. And that book has a ton of different characters. And I really like that book. And he does that one too. And it is phenomenal, because you have different characters of different races and all kinds of stuff. And he does it all perfectly, like different races, different nationalities. And he also does male and female voices, and like kids and adults, and like you know, like when he starts talking, you know exactly which person he is after after you get an idea of which person it is, like you know exactly who's talking, which is really fucking dope. And so like I went back and I did the audiobooks, and I'm glad I did, because I really, really enjoyed those, even though some of them I read along, because I had like a PDF or something like that. But I really dig the Harry Potter series. Like I really do. But like I know some people like never really got around to it, but I think it's really dope to do with your kids.
Yeah.
Is really, and didn't they put all of the Harry Potter movies on Netflix? Aren't they all on Netflix? It just happened like a couple months ago. Okay, as I understand it, they're all there. I can't find out when, but at some point they put them all on Netflix. But I really dig the series. I think it's something that you should. I definitely think it's something that you can do with the kids, especially the older kids, because like the further you get in, the darker it gets.
Yeah.
So you need to be around to explain some of this stuff. When people start dropping, because like some of like the big main characters start dropping, and a few of them die before the end of the whole series. So yeah, I think I just talked way too much.
You good, man. But yeah, I was gonna say that I've actually been playing a lot of Spider-Man. I didn't think that I was gonna like get into. Well, I knew that I would probably like it because I like Insomniac, but I didn't know that I was going to get into it before I did God of War. Because I started God of War first, and then I thought I'd try out Spider-Man because the kids were up, and it's Spider-Man. And then now I'm almost done 100%ed the entire map and have 3 trophies left before platinum. I'm like, and that never happens. That game is super good. But
yeah, but I liked God of War, but like the change in the controls and all of that kind of stuff kind of threw me off a bit. It was just hard for me to like as someone who only really liked God of War 3, like I didn't play the others. And like to switch to this, and then they change everything with the axe and stuff. And it's just kind of like, I don't really know how to navigate this, because I got used to how to navigate with the way 3 works.
Yeah, but I just play it and like think of it as like a new game. Like if it was a completely new IP and these are the mechanics for that new IP, then
yeah,
that's pretty much
that's what I should have done. That's definitely what I should have done. But yeah, I like God of War. I never made it around.
I'm losing you again, man. There you go. You're back.
Okay, I keep losing you. Like your screen is frozen on my end, even though I can see you moving on the YouTube that I have like right next to this. I can see you moving, but like it keeps freezing on my screen. I don't know why that's the case. I never talked about what happened to me last week.
What happened to you last week, man?
On Wednesday, I went to my girl's holiday party, and I got so drunk.
Oh, really?
I got so drunk. Like, bruh.
So you actually moved it from 1 beer to 2 this time.
Oh, no. I ain't had no beer. I had straight liquor. I had some liquor. Okay, so here's what I'm going to say about what I had. I had a rum and Coke, which they had the good stuff this year. So it was Captain Morgan. So I had Captain Morgan and Coke. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, cool. That's all right. And then I had a rum punch, which is basically Captain Morgan and some fruit juices. And then I had something else, and I can't remember. There's one that I'm missing, but I had 4 drinks. And like I told y'all, I'm a cheap drunk. I was feeling it about halfway after that first one. I was pretty much feeling it. But then afterwards, I had just some Crown Royal on ice. Let me tell you about Crown Royal. Crown Royal got me real fucked up. But Crown Royal, I don't like the taste of alcohol. So Crown Royal just tastes like what you think gasoline tastes like. It just, I mean, for real, it didn't taste, it tasted like gas to me. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't, like people say like, well, you don't really, you shouldn't really be tasting alcohol, but like, you have to, like, you're drinking it. You know what I'm saying? And I was drinking it through those little teeny straws that they give you. And they gave me two of them. So I was pulling on two of those little straws and I was just like, oh, holy fuck, this is disgusting. Like, it looks like really bad.
Well, you're definitely someone I think that should, have a chaser or a mix or something. But speaking of Crown Royal, there's a cheaper version. I wouldn't say it's a cheaper version of Crown Royal, but it's another, cause Crown Royal is made by Seagram's and they have, and Seagram's has an American blended whiskey called Seagram 7, which is, I would consider it like an American Crown Royal, but cheaper. And a classic.
I thought Crown Royal was yak, though.
Yak?
Cognac.
It's a Canadian whiskey.
That's what cognac is?
Maybe, I don't know. But I wouldn't think cognac is Canadian whiskey. I think it's its own thing. But anyway, but Seagram 7, you mix it like 6 ounces of 7-Up with like an ounce of Seagram 7. And that is absolutely delicious. It's like so simple. It was a really popular drink in like the 70s of what I looked up or whatnot. It's not too popular anymore, but, it should be, man. It's just, to me, I like that better than like Crown and Coke. It's just super refreshing. And I think you probably dig that.
Yeah, but like who buys 7-Up though?
Well, you can do it Sprite, Sierra Mist, or whatever, but that's just what it's called, 7 and 7 because of the,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Works with ginger ale too, or ginger ale. No ginger ale. It's ginger ale.
I know people who swear by Crown Apple and ginger ale.
Yeah, I never had Crown Apple.
I've never had Crown anything. Like I had opportunities to have some, but like usually, like because my brother-in-law like has like all kinds of stuff to drink at his house. He has like a little like display with all of the different bottles and shit like that. And like usually, like when I'm go to my people's for like an event or like Thanksgiving or some shit like that, like they usually have something there. They usually drink a little bit, but I can never drink because most of the time I'm driving and I'm already a cheap drunk. Like I don't want to even just have a little bit and then be fucked up for the ride home because I got to drive for an hour. So I typically don't have any. But it's just, but yeah, I was fucked up, but I was feeling great and all kinds of stuff. Now I do dance, but I prefer like line dances and stuff like that. That's really where I shine. That's where I prefer to be. But like, my girl had a little bit too. Like she was dancing. She got bad knees and her ass was out there dancing too. Like we was just drunk having a ball. And then like I had to drive, the party was in Norfolk. So I had to I got off work early. She was already there. And then, so I had to drive my car, which is like, my car? I drove my car, from Richmond to Norfolk. And then we took an Uber back and forth, to the party. The hotel was like really nice. It was like the Main, which is like I can't remember what kind of hotel it is, but they call it the Main. But that was really nice where they had that at. Of course, we weren't staying in the Main, but the party was in the Main. And, that place was super nice. It was super, super nice. But we took the Uber, and on the way to Uber back, I asked the Uber driver, could he stop at McDonald's? And like, we were both drunk, having a ball in the back seat. And like, we were just talking, like, we went to McDonald's. I bought my man some nuggets. I was like, yo, you want something? Cause I'm about to order a lot of food. Like, I need like all the fries you can give me. Cause I gotta go to work in the morning. So like, I need all the fries you can give me right now. I bought my man some nuggets and like, it was just a good time. And I had such a great time. And then like, I saw a couple of my old coworkers, cause she works for the company that I used to work for. So I saw a couple of old friends, and like it was a really good time. Like if like you know, every once in a while you should just go out and just have you some fun.
Yeah.
Uber, drink, and do what you gotta do. I kind of want some more drink right now, to be honest.
Uh-huh.
I kind of got in that mode, and it was just like, all right, I forgot. Like I don't like the after effects of drinking, and like in order to try to get rid of some of the after effects, I had like 4 bottles of water.
Yeah,
they had like their own bottles, and like I was like, oh yeah, give me 2 of those this time. Like I kept going back. It was like, give me 2.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's like, it's mostly like drinking super sugary stuff, like, you know, like the wine coolers or whatever, or like just getting drunk off of those like really sweet like schnapps and stuff like that. And, you know, not staying hydrated and not eating before you drink. Those are like the 3 like main things: is sugar, not being dehydrated, and not having, and drinking on an empty stomach is what gets you feeling like shit.
Yeah. And I didn't really eat before because I don't really kind of eat their food. Like the food that they have there, I kind of don't really eat it. So I had a little something before I went, but I didn't have a lot.
So it wasn't drowning in ketchup? Okay.
No. They had like some prime rib or something like that or whatever. You know, they just kept saying, well, this just tastes like roast. It don't taste like no ribs. But, I guess, I don't know whether it was prime rib or something like that, but they said it was some sort of ribs, but it just tasted like roast. And I was just like, you know what? I don't want no ribs that taste like roast. Like I'm good on that. Me, personally.
I'm pretty sure
dog.
ribs would taste like roast if it's not like got any sauce or seasoning on it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that was a good time. And like, okay, so now we can get back to the regularly scheduled program.
Okay.
You were talking about the games that you were playing.
Yeah, I mean, it's been mostly Spider-Man. It's just kind of like out of character for me just to like, I did not think I was going to, I mean, I knew I'd like it, but I didn't think I was going to like almost platinum it, which I haven't really platinum. Actually, I haven't platinum anything other than Telltale games. You know,
I don't think I've ever platinum anything.
Yeah, it was just kind of crazy. I was like, holy, because I wasn't really looking at the trophies or whatever, but when I did, I was like, holy crap, I have 3 left. I'm at 98%. What the crap?
Right.
But yeah, that was pretty cool. And it's a version that came with all the DLC, so I got that to go through too, but I'm probably going to take a break and play something else because the new season of Destiny started, and I kind of want to delve into that some, and I haven't done any of that.
Yeah, I kind of want to play some more. You know, just like playing that old content was cool enough for me. My only issue with playing Destiny is if I do feel like buying the other content, I definitely don't want to buy that shit on PC. Like that was my only issue. Like I really don't want to buy this shit on PC.
Well, even if you did buy it on PC, you know, I'm pretty sure there'll be a Steam sale pretty soon. You can get it for a lot cheaper than you can probably get it other places, but
yeah,
because it's not like Shadowkeep's already only $35. It's not like it's like a $60 thing like before. And
yeah, but like fucking Christmas got me down because like this is the year that I'm supplying the money for my daughter and she's gonna buy her own stuff. So like I have to have a significant amount of money like ready to go for us to go shopping and do what she wants to do. And she don't get here till Saturday, so like I gotta just hold on to money.
Yeah. And you know, and if you wanted to get anything, you know, just get Forsaken, or like you don't even need Forsaken really, but like Forsaken is just so good. Like I think it's just worth playing through, you know. But like yeah, Forsaken was really good. I really enjoyed that content. But
yeah, and for all of the folks, y'all know I was really hype on Division 2 for a while, and I stopped playing when they started introducing some of the stuff with the DLC stuff into the game. But my man Sam, who couldn't be here tonight, said that he got a copy of the gold edition of Destiny, of the, I said, trying to not to say Destiny, the Division 2 with, he got it for like $11 of the gold edition.
Yeah, that's a steal.
Yeah. I was
not even a year since that game came out.
I was going to buy it just so I could use the code, and I was going to send you the disc. Like, you can play all this regular shit, but you ain't got Xbox Live, so I was just like, well, I'm not really quick to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like if anybody wants to play, holla at your boy. I do actually play on my Xbox, but for now, I kind of appear offline because I don't really want to be disturbed while I'm trying to figure out how the fuck to play 2K. Now I started, however, pulling up the app on my computer because like my TV's right there. So like I usually have my computer on and I'm like listening to something while I'm playing 2K because I don't necessarily need to hear 2K. So I just started messing with people. Just like, I know I'm appearing offline, but I just start sending people messages. Like I saw Double A playing live and I was like, I see you, dog. Like stuff like that. And then when my daughter is on, I was like, do some homework. Like I just do shit like that. Just randomly, people just randomly get messages from me when I'm in between games or something like that. And I'm just kind of like, I feel like fucking with somebody right now. So I'm just going to fuck with you right now. That type of thing. So yeah, man. But like I said, other than those two things, I haven't really played anything. I've watched quite a bit though. Have you watched anything?
Actually I haven't because I'm not even caught up on The Mandalorian.
Bruh, I'm gonna tell you, this is not really a spoiler.
Okay.
The last episode of The Mandalorian, episode 6, Bill Burr plays in the episode.
Yeah, I heard that.
Bill Burr does not change his accent at all. At all. And like the dude who used to play in Sons of Anarchy, I think he played Bobby in Sons of Anarchy, if you ever seen Sons of Anarchy, which is a good show. I didn't like how it ended. And like, but like it was a really good show. Both of them like keep their accents. Like Bobby talks like he's a Southerner. Even though, like, you know, in the show, it was Southern California, which is kind of weird because he talks like he's kind of from the South.
Maybe this is a sci-fi thing because we said the same thing about Mass Effect, where like people have accents. You're like, this is how you from Boston right now, you know?
Yes, and that's the crazy part because like it's Star Wars was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. There's a fucking Boston. You know what I mean? Like I put out a Facebook message. I was just like, yo, according to Bill Burr's accent, there's a Boston in the Star Wars universe. Do with that what you will. So yeah, but I'm caught up on The Mandalorian. I have not been watching a lot of Disney Plus. I want to watch some Star Wars movies because I pretty much watched all of the Marvel movies, the MCU stuff, with the exception of one movie that I don't want to watch, but I know eventually I'm going to have to.
The Spider-Man movies aren't on there.
Yeah, the Spider-Man movies aren't on there. There's a couple of movies like Thor Ragnarok is still on Netflix. Like if you go to the page and like they have the little thing to go to, but if you go to it, it'll be like, yeah, it's not going to be here until this day because they still have deals with like Netflix and stuff like that. So like when the Netflix deal runs out, then that's when you're able to watch these things on Disney Plus. So like Thor Ragnarok and I think it's a couple of other things that are on. But like I do not want to watch Thor: The Dark World at all. Like the first time it just kind of like, I don't know how the fuck I'm going to get through this. Like I just did not like it that much, but like I've been watching everything. I'm kind of watching it out of order. I just watch whatever I feel like watching that day. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily like, watching them in some sort of order, but I'm going to watch them all over again in order. I think I want to do that.
I'll send you a message. There was this dude who actually put it in a pretty good order. All I remember is that he called it the spaghetti order, and he said there's no reason for that. He just likes spaghetti and he wanted to see if it sticks. But it stuck with me because that's the one thing I fucking remember. But it seemed like a pretty cool, order because it was like, it doesn't go in chronologically on how the movies would have come out or how it does like Iron Man and then it was like Captain America and then is to where it introduces all the Avengers, their first movies, and then you see the first Avengers movie and then it'll do the sequels, and whatnot. And it seemed like a really cool way to watch it. And I'll see if I can find that in my history or something. His internet is crazy tonight.
All right, there you go. I hear you.
There. Damn.
Yeah, this shit is blowing me back a bit. But yeah, is it like a order, like what they call it, the Hatchet order to watch the Star Wars movies?
It's sort of like that, yeah. But it doesn't omit movies like that does.
Well, no, I think the Hatchet, the original order that you were supposed to watch the movies, you were supposed to watch like 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6.
Oh, well, okay. Well, another one I saw, it like omitted 1, not because, one because it's like not very good, but 2, it doesn't have anything in that movie that is really,
important to the story.
Yeah.
Important to the story. But it's the way that is constructed, it's supposed to be like you get the revelation of 5 of the I am your father. And then you're like, well, how the fuck did that happen? And then you watch the prequels to figure out how the fuck did that happen? Like, you know what I mean? Like that type of thing. Like, I like the idea of that. Like, if you're introducing someone to Star Wars, I like the idea of doing it that way.
Yeah.
Doing 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6. And then the sequels, which everyone fucking complains about, but it's still going to make $1 billion. Like, I don't really understand it. I'm not a big Star Wars
What I don't
fan.
understand is like how people, when I see people are saying like, man, well, at least they're better than the sequels. I was like, have you watched Attack of the Clones recently? And you can say that the acting is better in, like, I saw just a little bit of the scene when, he's like, the whole quotable, like, I killed them all, the women and children or whatever. That scene is so excruciatingly terrible.
Yeah, his acting was bad. Like, a lot of people try to blame it on the writing, but no, like, Hayden Christensen's acting was terrible. Terrible. If he was a better actor, he probably could have sold a lot more of that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, he probably could have sold a whole lot more of that, and it would have been a lot better if his acting was better. But like, I'm not even trying to dump on him, because here's the problem. And I told you this happened like a little while ago. Like, that story came out that said that George Lucas was disappointed in the movies, or he was pissed off about it, or some shit like that. Whatever they said George Lucas was about the sequels. And it was in like this one dude video that I was watching, because I wanted to know exactly what George Lucas said, about it.
Yeah.
But like, he started fucking crying when started talking about how much he loved the prequels. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Because like a week ago, you probably were still saying that the prequels were crap. Like a week ago. And like, he was talking about how like going to see the Phantom Menace for the first time, and he started tearing the fuck up. Like, it's like, about the Phantom
the prequels
Menace.
were terrible, but at least they didn't have a woman as the main lead. Wow.
Yeah, like this, it's like, people, how quickly you forget how much dumped on the fucking prequels. And now all of a sudden, because you don't like the sequels, now all of a sudden the prequels are good.
But they like the sequels until The Last Jedi come out, and all of a sudden they don't like any of it.
Yeah, like, in The Last Jedi wasn't even okay. I can't speak from their perspective because I'm not a big Star Wars fan. I like the movies. I liked the legacy books. I listened to the whole legacy books that are non-canon now. But I listened to all of those audio books and it was fucking fantastic. I enjoyed every fucking bit of that shit. I read some of the comic book of like what happens like way down the line. That's not canon anymore either. The comic books that's like one of the one of the Skywalkers like grandkid or great grandkid or some shit like that, like way in the future, from there. And I enjoyed that one quite a bit too. And it had the same kind of, thing of the game that just came out, where it was a dude that was just surviving until like, in order to save somebody, like he had to do some Jedi shit and he got outed. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like in the comic book, the Skywalker guy, I can't remember. It's been so long since I've read it. He force healed somebody. He was like, working on a ship or something like that. Something happened. He had to force heal somebody or they were going to die. So he did it. And then like, of course that put him on everybody's radar.
Yeah.
But that was really good, at the time. That was really good. I don't think I ever finished it, but because that was back when I was buying comic books. Which was really.
Well, I did, hear someone that said that they weren't a big fan of The Last Jedi, but they weren't like this, like incel group, and they were reasonable. And when they were talking about what they didn't like, I could see what they were talking about. Like, it wasn't the fact that all this bullshit, or that what I liked about The Last Jedi is what everybody else didn't like about The Last Jedi. Even though that I'm was a big Star Wars fan, like growing up and whatnot, it was really a deconstruction of Star Wars. Like it, like took Star Wars and like kind of put some things on its head and like kind of like was almost like this thought experiment on what is Star Wars, and that's not what people wanted. And they might look back in 20 years and look back at that and have like articles about the deconstruction of Star Wars and it be like this big cult classic like 20 years from now, but people just wanted Star Wars. And also, like even though like with the original trilogy, George Lucas wrote and directed the first one, but he only wrote the stories for the second and third one, and then someone else did the screenplays and the directing and whatnot. And the thing is, with the prequels, he did everything, and you could see that he's probably a good story writer, but not a great, director and all that stuff. But with the sequels, they don't really have that story to have a game plan. So they have these different directors, and the different directors are putting their own spin on things, and nothing's really lining up. And I
think the biggest disconnect right now is that it's obvious what the new directors are trying to do. They are trying to get this shit away from being just about the Skywalkers. And I think that's what most people are railing against. Like, because the story so far has been all about the Skywalkers.
Yeah.
And like, I think is in order for Star Wars to survive, like it has, like, we need the Force to be in other places. You know what I mean? Like, we need the Force to be in other places. And I think that the Mandalorian is doing well because, well, first of all, they have like the greatest new mascot ever, Baby Yoda. Like it's like totally great mascot. But like the fact that Baby Yoda is, can use the Force, and like the fact
that the Mandalorian himself don't give a fucking shit. He just like fucking slaying Jawas like it ain't nothing.
Yeah.
Just that shit made me laugh so hard. It's like, what's he gonna do with this shit? Now he's gonna disintegrate Jawas for 30 minutes.
I love the fact that he doesn't talk much. Like, he doesn't talk much. All he does is fuck shit up. Like, all right, it's time to fuck shit up. And like this last episode, like there's a moment where it's just like, It's like he disappears for a second, and it was like, where the fuck did he go? Oh, he's there to fuck shit up. So, and he just fucks shit up, and like they just start watching. They're just like, okay, I guess we're not fighting anymore. Just like we'll just watch him fuck shit up. Like it's like the best thing ever. I like the fact that it's just like, yeah, let's just watch this dude fuck shit up. And like that, I think that's cool. I like it. I know the season's getting ready to wrap. I don't know how many episodes it's supposed to be. Was it supposed to be 8 or 10? But I'm enjoying The Mandalorian. But you know, I understand the people who don't. And I've heard a couple of people say that they don't really love it that much. And then the whole thing about is it a Western or is it not and all that other stuff. I don't really care. I just like watching him fuck shit up.
But I mean, when people bring like a, you know, like the feeling of a Western into other genres like space, it works really well for some reason. You know, like with like Firefly and all that. I don't know, man. For some reason, Western and space just comes together really cool, in a really cool way.
Yeah, Firefly.
Yeah.
And I mean, and then, you know, like basically Star Wars is like a space Western / samurai movie.
Yeah. Which is like the coolest thing ever when you really say it out loud.
Yeah, it's a fucking samurai movie. Like, with fucking laser swords instead of regular fucking swords. Like, holy fuck, that's awesome. And I like the fact that, like, there was like I saw a deconstruction of like the lightsaber fight from the Phantom Menace.
And it was just the Fates or whatever.
Yes. Do you know, I learned something new. Like, you learn something new when you watch this stuff. It's kind of behind the scenes stuff. Right before, like, you know, when when Obi-Wan is stuck behind that barrier after Qui-Gon gets fucked up and like Obi-Wan starts hopping, like he's like, you know what I mean? Like he starts Muhammad Ali hopping.
Yeah.
Do you know that wasn't actually in the script? That was not in the script. Basically, that was him psyching himself up to be in the thing, and they just kept it because they were rolling. But it fit so well that they decided to just keep it. Like the idea, like of him just Muhammad Ali and like, all right, this shit about to go down. Let's do this. And then the barrier goes down and then it's added. Like, and then like, I love the fact that like, you know, like the way they explain that lightsaber fight and like the lightsaber stuff in the Phantom Menace, which is arguably, you know, the lightsaber fights in the pod race are the only two really good things about the Phantom Menace. But the way that they described it is like, yeah, you've seen lightsaber fights before, but these were two old ass men fighting. Like, you know what I mean? They were fighting like old ass men. You've never seen young people or like people in their prime actually go at it. And that's why these lightsaber fights look different to you.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the fact that somebody actually thought about it. Like, yo, those were old ass men. So they was just kind of swinging really slowly and like, you know, like doing their thing. But like, no, we gonna get into it and we gonna do this shit right. You know what I mean? Yeah, I dig the prequels personally. I actually think 3 is the best one still so far. I liked 7, but 7 is basically 4 redone.
Yeah.
There's so many elements of 4 in 7 that I can't really like, you know what I mean? Like I can't really take that one like a thing on its own because it's just a big rehash. And the Last Jedi was cool with the exception of the Leia Mary Poppins scene.
Yeah, that was a little much. Because
like at no point did she display any like, well, in the movies, did she display any sort of force sensitivity or anything? Like there was,
well, like, where she could like know what Luke was feeling and stuff.
Yeah, but like we never actually saw her use the force.
Right.
But then all of a sudden she's using the force in a fucking vacuum to save herself. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. Whoa, come on, dog. Like for real? Like, that's what we doing right now? Like, that was the only part that I was just kind of like, and then the fight at the end, like, the fight at the end and then the revelation at the end, that shit was cool as fuck to me. Like, I don't know, like, maybe it didn't hit people the same way, but I thought that shit was cool as fuck.
I love the, I mean, a little bit of spoilers, but, sometimes I love purposeful anticlimactic things to where it's like, that was kind of genius to where, the ending of The Force Awakens with the lightsaber, she's like, oh, here's the lightsaber. And then it's just like, Luke's just, meh, you know, and the whole movie, he's just like, fuck this shit. Fuck the Force. And like, you know, the whole like brush the shirt. I loved all that stuff, you know, and everybody hated the fact that Luke was pretty much Yoda on Dagobah at that point. But, like, I don't know. I just thought that was the coolest thing ever, that Luke in his old age just become this sarcastic asshole. And it was great to me.
I did too. I really, I don't hate it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't hate it. I don't feel what people feel about it. Like, I just don't.
But yeah, I can definitely see the whole, the trilogy as a whole doesn't really have much direction, but that's just because they got rid of all the original canon and didn't really have anything to go on. There wasn't a mastermind writer writing the whole thing, you know, type deal. And all that really has to do is money. You know, why would Disney pay all this money in royalties to all these thousands of EU writers when they can just scrap all that stuff and make something up on the fly and not have to pay all those people? I mean, how many authors would they have to pay? I mean,
a lot.
Yeah.
You know what movie I want?
What's that?
I want the movie of the I want the Republic Commando movie or Republic Commando series.
Public Commando. Oh, I think I have that on Steam.
Republic Commando is really fucking good, but it ends on a cliffhanger that is never resolved. I read the book. I think I read 2 of the books, a long time ago, and I actually read the books. Mm-hmm. I don't really remember much of it, but I actually read the books back in the day. And like, those are some really good stories. Just like this squad and like what they had to go through. And like the game was really good because like you give them commands and stuff like that, but it's all on one button. Like you look at the thing that you want them to do and then you press the button and it tells them to do it. That type of thing. It is very simplified, but it's satisfying. Mm-hmm. And like, you know, when you see one of those droids pop up and you're just like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like I don't know which ones, the ones that roll until they pop open. The super battle droid or whatever the fuck it's called. I mean, there's the big one, but then there's the one that rolls. And like when one of those motherfuckers showed up, it's like when a hunter shows up in, Halo. Yeah. It's like, oh shit, it's time to fucking go. Like, all right, let's do this. Like, I need you to go over there. I need you to go over there. Like, we gonna do this. Like, that type of thing. Like, I fucking dig that shit. I really do. And then like all of the different weapons are like really like, with the exception of like your backup weapon, all of the main weapons are just attachments on the same weapon you already have. Bless you. And like that whole thing, like I really dig that. I think they should make that into a TV show so that we could finally get some sort of closure, because we were supposed to get closure. It leads into the Clone Wars. And like, I heard if you watch this Clone Wars cartoon or something like that, there's some sort of closure, but it wasn't the closure we was looking for. But I never really watched that much of the Clone Wars cartoon. I watched a little bit, but not a whole lot. Even though I hear Rebels is really good, and that's on Disney Plus. But yeah, I've started watching The Expanse. and it's on Prime, and it's actually pretty good. I really like The Expanse. There's a lot of people that play on a lot of stuff that I've seen. So like, hey, that's so and so from this, that's so and so from that, and it's just like really cool. It's sci-fi. It's a sci-fi show. And it's like these two seemingly separate stories that are at some point going to converge. I started this shit like 2 days ago, and I'm already on episode 7. That's how like in there I am right now. And there's 4 seasons on Amazon. So you got a little bit to go on there. Something to keep you, just to kind of keep you in there. I watched something else. Oh, I watched Daybreak on Netflix, which is just kind of weird. It's like the cross between like a comedy and like a cross between like a comedy, The Walking Dead, and that show. There's that show, and I can never remember the name, but there's a show on Netflix where like something happens to this town, and everybody that's above the age of 18 or 21 just dies. And these kids have to figure out how to survive, and then they get blockaded off, and they're stuck in the city because no one knows what's making the adults die. Or at least they didn't for the first season that I saw. That is kind of like that is kind of all rolled in one. Something happens, some bombs went off, and all of the adults either died or got turned into some kind of like zombie-like critters. And like it's basically like a California high school. They kind of broke up into their cliques, and they're in like different areas of town and all of this kind of stuff. It is really cool. Here's the coolest thing about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The principal, Matthew Broderick, is the principal. So like Ferris Bueller is the principal of this fucking high school. which is cool, like nostalgic, like, and he's like typical principal guy until there's a twist. And like, this is really dope. And I like it a lot. I had to watch some of it over because I kept falling asleep, but that wasn't the show's fault. That was my fault.
Mm.
But yeah, I really dig that. And the Expanse is going very, very well so far.
Cool.
So if you have Prime, get into that. Somebody from the group chat, said that we should watch that. And I did, and I really like it a whole lot.
Nice.
And there's some other stuff I'm going to get into soon.
Yeah, I was just looking at my Steam. Yeah, I do have Republic Commando on there. And also, one of our buddies said, Empire at War actually still holds up pretty well. The mechanics of it, but I mean, graphically, probably not so much, but it's still a really good RTS based in Star Wars,
Word up. All right. I think that's it for us. You got anything else you want to discuss?
Not really, man. Just, if any of our friends in podcasting and whatnot have shouted me out or like asked me a question or whatnot, sorry if I don't respond. I have, kind of like for 2020, I started it early, but I was going to kind of fast on podcasting for a while.
Really?
Yeah. I just realized, I looked at, cause I use Podcast Addict, and you can look at your statistics or whatnot, and statistically, every week I listen to 15 hours worth of podcast. In 2019, I listened to like a week worth of podcast, like in the whole year. And out of everything, I've listened to like 3 months worth of podcast since I started. And that's just kind of crazy. Like 15 hours out of my week is just listening to podcasts. And I was like, I think I might want to start listening to some music just for a while.
Yeah.
And
I've been getting into listening to like audiobooks and stuff again, like especially with the Orphan Black thing. Orphan Black has ended, and I hope there's another season. And it's on a app called Serial Box, and they just put out a preview for a Thor book, and it's something about Loki playing the guitar. something weird. I don't know. It's like Thor and Loki metal gods or something like that. So I don't know. I downloaded the first episode. The first episode of all of this stuff is typically free. So I've been doing that a lot. So
yeah. And then right when I was about to do my my podcast fasting, my boy Los started a new podcast from the Future Monkeys called The Talking Place. But I was like, no, sorry, Los, I got to do this, kind of for me, because I just know that, I don't know, like I would get behind on podcasts, and I was like, oh yeah, now I got this 20 hours worth of podcasts to listen to, and now I'm trying to get called ahead, and it was just like, it's just too much, and I just got kind of over my head to where, like, for the past 6 years, I've been listening to almost nothing but podcasts and a little bit of music thrown in there, and I think I'm going to take a little break,
I understand. I very much understand. That's the reason why I don't listen to a lot of like gaming podcasts and stuff like that. I listen to a lot of sports stuff or stuff about like the TV shows, like a lot of the AfterBuzz stuff of the TV shows. Oh man, speaking of the TV shows, I watched the crossover just happened. Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover. It's been really dope so far, but they did 3 episodes and then they're doing a 2-hour episode like mid-January, and I can't wait.
Cool.
They went to Smallville, and they actually got him to be Clark Kent in an episode. Yes, it's greatness. They had there's at least 3 different Supermen in the crossover.
Did they have the song?
No, they did the song last year. They did the song last year because they went to that Earth. But they met with the Superman that's with Supergirl. The guy who plays, the guy who plays, Superman there, I think his name is like Tyler Hoechlin or something like that. I think he's a pretty good Superman. I do. But last year during the crossover, they went there and they played the song when they went, because he was on the farm and they used the actual farm. They were using the farm. Oh, speaking of Smallville, my girl started watching a new show, and it's not a show that I'm ever really going to care about, but the mama from Smallville, Martha Kent, actually plays in that show. And like, she's a little bit older, but I was like, that's mama right there. Every time I see her on the screen, I'm like, that's Mama Kent. That's Mama Kent right there. I feel that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's Mama Kent right there. So every time she's on the screen, and she's one of the main characters, it's called like Virgin River or something like that. But like, it's not my kind of show. I will say with her watching, if I'm around and if she's watching This Is Us, I'm usually there because This Is Us is a really good show. It's a really good show.
Oh, speaking of people playing stuff, the kid who played the main character in the new Star Wars game, he also played Joker in Gotham, which is weird. Well, not weird, but kind of cool in the fact that Luke also voice acts Joker. So that's now 2 canon Star Wars actors who also have played Joker.
Yes.
So it's kind of cool.
Word up. That's awesome. I have not got around to that yet because I haven't really done very much on my Xbox other than fucking 2K. So I did buy a capture card. I'm gonna try to capture some stuff. I really want to record some NCAA first. It's just like having the time to sit down and like do it has been a little bit rough. With some things going on around here, but I'm going to start capturing some things soon and then, just light editing and uploading because I want the thing to be as organic as possible. Yeah. So that's going to happen. That's going to happen. So I think we did it.
I think we did too.
I think we got it. Thank you to everybody. Go to the website, hit our social medias up. I know you say you're not listening to podcasts, but you're on social medias. And all of that stuff is in the show notes. Go to the website, geeksonraw.com. Like us in wherever you go to for your podcast. If you have a way to rate us, do that. Like we need to be able to get to more ears, and we need your help to get there. So, and we appreciate y'all, everyone who's done it so far. We very much appreciate y'all. And like, we'll be back in 2 weeks for like more hotness. Like in like 2 weeks, it'll be after Christmas. So we'll have our Christmas stories to talk about. And it's going to be on and popping. Thank you again. Thank y'all. Peace out to the Warriors. We appreciate everything that y'all have done. All of the Warriors. Mason and Gray's birthday was just a few days ago. So shout out to the twins.
Yeah.
And you know how that goes. So peace out to the Warriors, yo.
Later.
I like that shit, yeah, boy. Yeah, I'm telling you, Whoa. All right, I ain't gonna talk.